Those results indeed confirming that a second round runoff vote will take place. Just to break down the figures for you, out of the 24.5 million votes that were cast, 10.4 million votes counted for Masoud Pezeshkian, 9.5 million for Saeed Jalili. But the big story here, that low turnout figure, just 40%, the lowest turnout since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. A big blow to Iran's clerical rulers, especially to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. He had insisted on the need for people to come and vote to push up participation. He said that the Islamic Republic's pride and dignity and reputation depended on a high turnout. The other big story here is the turnaround that this has been for Masoud Pezeshkian. At the start of this race, he was seen as an outsider, a bit of an underdog, but now we've seen in the last few weeks how his rallies have drawn growing crowds. The former health minister, also a former heart surgeon endorsed by two former presidents, now standing a real chance of becoming Iran's next president. However, if he is to beat Saeed Jalili, he will need to persuade younger people to vote in the second round. He will need to get those turnout figures pushed up. On the other hand, Saeed Jalili, well, he'll need to convince other more conservative voters to rally behind him, and he's already had a boost because in the last few hours, Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, that was the third place candidate, has told his supporters to rally behind Saeed Jalili in the second round runoff. So a big boost already for Saeed Jalili.
And Andy, you've been on the ground covering these elections in Tehran. What's the mood been like? What have you been hearing from people?
Yeah, indeed. Our team has been covering this story for the last several days now here in Tehran, and we've met lots of people in the Iranian capital. And I think what we've noticed here is a real divide between those on the one hand, particularly young people, students who say they don't want to participate in these elections because they don't think their vote will make any difference, because they say that reformist presidents in the past haven't changed anything. And then other people who we met in polling booths on Friday, for example, lots of women who told us that they hope that their vote will mean change for women, that it will bring greater equality for women. We also met a man who said that he hoped the next president would pick up where Ibrahim Raisi left off. So you have this polarization between, on the one hand, of course, the candidates running in the system, so the reformist candidates running against the conservative candidates, but then outside the system you have this polarization between those who don't want to participate because they think their vote would be a waste anyway, and those who still insist that voting is a civic duty.